Hiya. We're on the Snake Pass today. We're actually just below the Snake Inn, or what was the Snake Inn. I've just walked up to it and it now looks like a private residence, so another pub gone. Today we're camping up on Bleaklow Stones. That's where I'm aiming to camp. I've actually tried to camp up there twice before. Once I walked from Ladybower, parked at Yorkshire Bridge, and it was just too far, and I camped at Grinner Rocks, and that were a fantastic camp. And another time I parked in Glossop, walked up, and it was so misty I couldn't see the point in walking across the misty moor, and I camped at Higher Shelf Stones. So what I've decided now, my car's getting a bit older, I'm happy to leave it, so I'm going to park it here just below the Snake Inn that was. It should be okay. And then it opens up all this area, and it makes Bleaklow more accessible, and also the northern edges of Kinder Scout. So hopefully when I return tomorrow there will still be some wheels on my car. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be okay. Nobody's going to be bothered with this old wreck, and there's nothing in it at all neither. So I'm going to set off walking up the road, and I'll talk to you in a little bit and try and show you on a map where we're actually heading. Talk to you in a little bit. Just let these cars go past. So I'll stop here and I'll try and show you on the map where we're heading. So hopefully you can see this okay. This is an exact copy of what I leave my wife before I head out on any of these trips. So she knows my route, where I'm camping, where I've left my car. So if you can see that was the Snake Inn. My car's just below. We've got to walk up the road, only about, probably not a mile. There is a nice car park there, Birch and Clough. Very steep climb, and then we're up on the moorlands. And then it's just a matter straight across this section of moorland until we hit what is all Port Valley. So we can't really go wrong. I'll take a compass bearing. As long as I get on the top of that valley, I'm okay. We're going up to an area called the Swamp. Get across the water there, the river, and also collect some water. And then start climbing up to the ridge, and then from the ridge further up to Bleaklow Stones where we're camping. For interest, for probably for people overseas, 628 metres, 2060 foot, and the grid reference I'll put down at the bottom on the so you can see it down here. If anybody wants to look it up. So we'll head off up the road to Birch and Clough, and then we can head out across the moors then. So this is Birch and Clough car park. It's a nice car park. I didn't fancy leaving my car here because it's a bit remote. At least down at the Snake Inn, I'm near some housing, so I felt it was safer down there. So we're going to head out onto the open moorland now. This first bit is super steep. There's about 200 steps straight up. Really hard, hardest part of the walk. But once you're up there, you've gained quite a bit of height. So I'll be out of breath. I'll see you at the top. Wow, that was steep. And it's not supposed to be raining neither. Sunny intervals, the weatherman said. Are we surprised? Anyway, nearly at the top. Only about another 15 metres or so to go. Oh dear. Just heading out across Allport Moor now. I've got about 2 miles and then I should hit the Allport Valley. I've taken a compass bearing, so that should get me there okay. But just to be on the safe side, I've got a basic GPS with me, just an X-Trek 10. All I use that for is to get a grid reference. I don't even know how to use the thing. That's the only thing I use it for, so that when you come over the brow and you see this road and you think that shouldn't be there, you can look on that and you think, oh my god, I'm right down there, and you know where you've gone wrong. I'm fine on Kinder Scout. Bleaklow, not so familiar with, so just take a bit more care. As you can see, it's windy and wet, so I'll probably torch you when we get over to the Allport Valley. See you in a bit. It's like a quagmire, about 2 inches of water all over the surface. Good job I've got some good waterproof boots on. After a very wet and boggy walk across Allport Moor, we're now at the top of Allport Valley. You can see the stream in the bottom. And it's even brightened up a little bit. We've not actually had the sun out yet, but it is a bit brighter. Now that area in front is known as the swamp. Very wet. You'd have thought they would have given it a more interesting name than just the swamp. Like the giant teacup or the mighty cauldron. You'd have thought they'd have given it a more exciting name, but no, it's known as the swamp. So we're going to head further up, get across the river, and then we head up onto what is known as the ridge. I think the person who named these was, it was the same person, and he ain't got much imagination. So we're going from the swamp to the ridge. Not Knife Edge Ridge or anything interesting, just the ridge. And then from the ridge we can head up to Bleaklow Stones, which I think is straight ahead up there, bang north. I might collect some water down the Allport River, or I might wait till I get further up. I haven't decided yet. I don't want to get caught out with no water, so even the fact I've got to carry it, I'll probably get it in the bottom. So we'll see where we get across this river now. I just saw 2 sheep. They were in front of me, and when they got here they just jumped straight across. I thought, oh my god, have I got to do that? And then luckily a bit of a submerged rock there, so makes it a bit easier. Mind you don't want to slip, do you? Oh. Oh dear. Oh, that were a bit slippy. Onward, up to the ridge. After quite a slog up, going through various bogs and up to my knees in mud and swamps and I don't know what, we've finally arrived at Bleaklow Stones, where we're going to camp tonight. I'll try and give you a quick look round. There are a lot of unusually shaped stones. Obvious one is that one there. I don't know if it's actually got a name. If it has, I'll put it on, try and identify it. But they've really weathered in a strange way. Obviously over thousands and thousands of years. To get a better view up here. You're on top of the world up here, see for miles. Quite a cool wind blowing, so if I remember from when I once walked past here, I think there's a good spot to pitch behind those 3 rocks over there. We'll just have a quick look round while we've got some light. Suppose this little GoPro doesn't really do the views justice. I have got a little Sony camera in my rucksack, so if the sun comes out, I'll try and show you a view of the views you get from up here. But it's certainly cool, so I'm gonna look towards getting some shelter behind them rocks over there, I think. God, got to die. Finally got it pitched, very windy. The ground's good, so I'm happy it's secure. I put a couple of delta pegs in on that side, the wind's really coming in this way. And then just some quite long Alp kit pegs all around the other side. But I managed to get the guys well spaced and the ground's pretty good. I think nearly every peg went into solid ground. So I'm just having a well-earned cup of coffee. I were really thirsty and I were glad of a warm drink. That wind is relentless, it just won't let up. And I think as well as wind, we're going to get heavy rain tonight, so I wanted to be sure everything was secure. So it's only a matter of moving my gear into the tent and then filtering some water. I've got a new water filter. I was using my Sawyer, but it was very slow. So I think Andy Beavers, quite a few other people recommended the I think Catadine Be Free. So it's like a rubbery type bottle and quite a big filter, but a lot quicker. So I'll show you that in a bit. That'll be my next job, to filter my water. But what a fantastic view. That's Grinner Rocks you can see there. Like I said, I had a wild camp up there a couple of years ago. Beautiful spot. But the sun's out now, so you can get a better view of things. But I'm gonna get all my gear in, just in case it turns, and then we'll get the water filtered. And that's the last job outside. I'm then in the tent for the night then. See you in a bit. So this is this new water filter. It's a Catadine Be Free. It's a 1 litre one, this. I'd used my Sawyer, mini Sawyer, for many years, but it was so slow. It took me about 10 minutes, I think, on last camp to fill these 2 litre bottles. So I've already filled one. Look at the speed of this. Oops. You can see the flow rate there. It is a lot quicker. I bet you can fill one of these bottles in a couple of minutes. So yeah, that's nearly full, that. This is the water I brought up from the river. As you can see, very brown. So that's those 2 bottles filled in no time. So yeah, that water filter looks good. I thought I'd try and cook in the daylight. Makes it a lot easier in that. I have gone for the easy option. Now you probably know I do like cooking, so I like to take fresh food and cook up either some spaghetti or steak, chops, anything really. And the other way I do it is my own dehydrated food. It's usually spaghetti bolognese, because I like spaghetti bolognese, so that's all I ever have, that's all I've ever really dehydrated. But for this camp, just for a change and to try and save a bit of weight, I've brought some of these expedition food, dehydrated meals. I wanted this to be a totally easy, relaxing camp. Could have done without the wind, but September's been a bit stressful, so as you'll have probably gathered, I ain't brought me drone. Apart from the fact you couldn't have flown it in these winds, but I thought I won't bother bringing it. It does take quite a lot of effort. And then I thought I'd make it easy and try something different. So now I've got a good appetite, and these don't always fill me up. So what I've done, I gather them all up. I've got, for my main meal tonight, I've got chicken, kurma and rice. So that's my main meal. And for a sweet, I've got, it's rice pudding with cinnamon. That sounds very nice. So like I say, I'm always worried that I ain't going to be full enough. So I thought I'd get an extra one. So I've got spaghetti carbonara. I'm going to have that as a starter. Won't see a problem with that. So we just, I mean, the advantage of these I can see. Christ, there's quite a lot in there. They are so easy. I mean, my packing before I came away was so easy. Normally I'm getting bits of this, weighing that out. This, I just threw 4 packets of dehydrated meals together. So it was easy. So this is, what is it? 195 millilitres of boiling water, which I've got. Pour that in. A spoon. Give it a good mix up. And then seal the bag. So that is so easy. So that's going to be my starter. And like I say, I'm looking forward to the chicken korma as my main course. I just finished this off. I was dying of thirst when I got here. It's my second cup of coffee. So we'll give that, I forgot what it said now, 5 to 8 minutes. We'll give it 8 minutes, I think. Make sure it's, that'll be 5 past, yeah. So I'll come back to you in a bit when it's hopefully all rehydrated. Right, this spaghetti carbonara has had its 8 minutes. So we'll see what it's like. It's warm, it tastes okay. I don't think there's a lot to it. There's a bit of spaghetti, a bit of ham, a bit of cheese. It's nice to have some warm food in you. It'll do as a starter. I don't know if people eat these as a main meal. It's good enough as a starter, but not as a main meal. Other little thing that put me off them were the price. So I bought the spaghetti carbonara, my chicken korma, not looking forward to that, and rice pudding with cinnamon for my pudding. And for breakfast, got hot cereal with mango. Cost me 30 quid. These, like that main meal, that was 8 quid. So I think there was about £4 odd postage on it. So at the end of the day, it was £30. So it is not cheap. You think of what you could prepare if you bought fresh food for 30 quid. But they do serve a purpose. They're convenient. There's no effort involved. And at the end of the day, you get a warm meal while you're out camping. I'll finish this off, get the stove back on, get the chicken korma rehydrated, and I'll come back to you when I've got that ready to eat. So this tastes very nice, yeah. So I think this is a 1,000-calorie one. The spaghetti is my starter for about 450, and I've got my rice pudding and cinnamon. That's about another 450. So I'll have had like 2,000 calories nearly for my tea. So hopefully that will keep me going. I'll finish this off, have my sweet, and that's it. No washing up. Put it in a rubbish bag. Perhaps have another drink, and then I'll come back to you later on. We have got a little bit of whiskey to try later on. Just brought one with me, but I've got a new whiskey flask. So I'll see you in a little bit. It's probably will have gone dark by then. So I had my rice pudding with cinnamon. It was okay. Afraid that's all I can give it. It wasn't like ambrosia creamed rice. It took about 10 minutes to rehydrate, having put boiling water in it, and by then it had lost a lot of its heat, starting to go cool. It gave me a sweet and more food, but it went fantastic. To think I might have paid £6 for it as well. Anyway, we're going to look at something now that is always good. It's been good for hundreds of years. A glass of whiskey. So, I've now got a new flask. Comes in its little stuff sack. If you think on the last one, I'd got that little small flask. Wasn't really enough in that. So I've invested in this little titanium flask. I got it on AliExpress, $35, which was about £25. It is titanium. I didn't think it was bad. It come in a couple of weeks, no charges or anything like that. So I thought, yep, nice little flask that. It's 260 millilitres. So that's getting on for about 10 whiskies, so it's not bad at all. So that's a flask. The whiskey which I've chosen for today is, if I've got the right one, imagination, use your imagination, this is a bottle. So it's Glenmorangie, 10-year-old whiskey. And straight away, there's a sweet but a fruity smell to it. A very pleasant smell. Again, very fruity. But more than that, it's very smooth. A very mild taste, a very delicate taste. And you can taste, there's like vanilla. You can feel the vanilla and a toffee taste coming through. It is actually matured in ex-bourbon oak casks, and that is where the fruity taste comes from. And the finish is again fruity and a little bit floral as well, a little bit floral. So yeah, very nice, a very nice whiskey. But I think whiskey and camping go together well. You're following the lightweight camping sort of theme in a way. Not a lot of weight there for a light little flask like that. So I think they go together well, and I encourage other people to try it. I mean, if you've not drunk whiskey before, or if you've had some and you didn't like it, you might have had a blended whiskey and it can be a bit harsh and you didn't enjoy it. I would recommend that you try Glenmorangie. It is described as a whiskey that somebody who's going on like a whiskey journey through life, it's one that they ought to start on, because it is so delicate and so milder flavour. So I would suggest, if you fancy a bottle of whiskey, just to try it, get yourself Glenmorangie 10-year-old original. And how you can't like this, I don't know. I know everybody's got different tastes. Oh, it's lovely. So I think I'll finish this off. I'll come back and have a little word with you in a bit. I've got a few more little stories to tell you about. So I'm going to sit or lay, enjoy the last drop of my Glenmorangie, and then I think I should be going to sleep then. As you can hear, perhaps the pitter-patter of rain on the fly sheet. So the rain is on its way. I think after midnight it then goes to heavy rain. So we'll see how we go. But if there's nothing of interest, I'll see you in the morning, and we'll have our expedition foods, mango and porridge or something. We'll see what that's like. Night then, see you in the morning. Just beautiful. Well, it's not stopped raining for 4 hours. Heavy rain. Started at 11. It's around 3 o'clock now, and a large puddle is forming. I've managed to prop the edges of the footprint up just so it don't flow over onto there. My boots they're sort of sat in water, but it's keeping the edge of the footprint up. As you can see, this it's about, I don't know, half an inch deep or something like that. I'm sort of alright in here. If it does come over the footprint, I'll just pile everything into here, and the bathtub design of the sleeping area should keep me dry. Hopefully. I'll try and show you outside. Look at that. That's Bleaklow for you. There's just water starting to puddle all over the place. Shut that lot out. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I think I'll make myself a drink while I'm awake. Can you hear that? As you can see, the water did come over the footprint. I managed to move my rucksack and everything into the sleeping compartment, so it's kept everything dry. Now it's trying to blow me off, I think. The wind's really picked up and could do without it really, but not much you can do. So 5:30 now, so a couple hours to daylight, and we can look towards packing up then. But yeah, I'm all dry in this bit. Once I've got the door zipped up, it keeps the bathtub ground sheet in place. Anyway, another couple hours to breakfast. And to think I carried all that water all the way up from the river, and I've more than I want now. Well, good morning. Rather a damp one, as you can see. But I have survived the night. I am perfectly dry in this half of the tent. The water level outside's obviously gone up a bit, and I'm probably in about an inch and a half water, something like that. But it proves how good this Soulo tent is. 5-6 years old, so the ground sheet must be in perfect condition, because I've no water in here at all, and it proves how important a footprint is to protect it. One little pinhole and it could have been a different matter. So I've got my breakfast on the go, cup of coffee as usual, and I'm just about ready to make this hot cereal and mango. Very easy, I'm pleased to say. I wouldn't want to be doing much else in these conditions. This is when these meals probably come into their ideal use. So all I'm going to do is basically get packed up, and the main thing is to get down to the river across there and back to my car. So I might not be doing much more filming at the moment. It's usually not as bad as it sounds out there. So once I get going, I'll have another word, try and do a bit of filming then. Well, probably as we get down to the ridge or something like that. So I'll see you in a little bit. So I'm going to head off basically in that direction, and we head straight down to to get onto the ridge. I'll probably take compass bearing from here, and I've got my GPS if I have any problems, because it is very misty. So I'll talk to you when I can. Oh, I have got my glasses as well. Don't want a repeat of the last time I was up on Bleaklow. Just had to jump across these two rivers. This is the River Allport, and you've got two tributaries coming down. That one there we crossed yesterday, and I stepped on the stone. The stone has disappeared. I went further up and it narrowed a bit, and I managed to jump it. It weren't nice. It weren't nice at all. You got one go at it. And this were even worse. You can't quite see it, but the other tributary coming down here, there wasn't really many narrow bits, and with the reed you couldn't get a run up, so I had again one go at it. I took 2 steps, jumped forward and landed okay. So I'm across now. I was tempted to set my tripod up and go back the other side and do it again just for the camera, but I changed my mind. I'll do so much, but I think that were beyond me, like. Quite hard work coming down. You can probably notice on the top it's really misty. I use my compass, but I use my GPS as well just to confirm where I am. You can't see anywhere to navigate to, because when you only see about 20 meters in front of you. So I would say anybody who goes up onto Bleaklow wants a GPS as well as a compass. But I'm across now, so we're just following our steps back to the car. So I'll see you back at the car, have a last word with you there. Pleased to say my car is still here in one piece, got all its wheels. Probably was a very wet night, and I dare say car thieves don't operate too much in the rain. Anyway, I'm happy to leave it here, so I'll leave it again and I can get up onto the northern edge of Kinder, and more camps up on Bleaklow from here. But certainly a memorable camp. It could have just been a routine camp, but as we had about 8 hours rain, it turned it into a memorable camp. It will always be remembered for the camp where my tent flooded. I've never had it as bad as that, but it does prove how good a Soulo tent is, that you can basically be camped in 1 to 2 inches of water and still stay dry and have a pleasant evening. Very impressed. Give me a lot more confidence in a way of where I can pitch it. So I'm going to make my way home now. Got quite a lot of gear to dry out, and then quite a bit of editing. I think I might have got too much footage because all the water and rain footage was extra. I might have to edit a few bits out, we'll see. But I hope you've enjoyed it. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one soon. Bye then.